rolling. We rolling. Rolling to Michigan. 290 mile, actually 320 mile deadhead. Load's ready anytime from 2 a.m. to midday, 12 o'clock tomorrow. So, place has overnight parking. I'm going to go there. Obviously, I'm on my way there. As you can see, it's the sun's about set. Cloudy, windy day here in Ohio on I-80. What's up, YouTube? BigH Trucking. All right. Have you guys ever had a fuel line in your reefer just explode? I did. I took video of it, and somehow, some way, I accidentally deleted it. So I don't have the proof. But what I can tell you is that I dumped about 15 gallons of fuel before I noticed what was going on. In hindsight, when you hear the engine or the reefer screaming, trying to catch up with temperature and trying to get enough fuel through the engine, to the engine, that's a signal that something's not right. And I kept saying to myself, man, that thing sounds really aggressive. The other part of it was, and bear in mind, let me back up a little bit. I had an appointment this morning at the receiver for 0600. Back into the door, they start unloading. And it took them, they were averaging about a pallet every 20 minutes. Nice and slow. Meanwhile, everybody around me has come and gone. I'm sitting there, after like a 2.5 hour nap. I got up and I'm like, damn, man, that engine is screaming. Like, holy cow. So, I didn't think anything of it. Well, I saw a puff of smoke. Again, didn't think anything about it. It's like, okay, it's probably my APU firing up. Again, keep in mind, it's a breezy day. So you're not going to really see so much smoke. And then it dawned on me about 5-10 minutes later that, wait, my APU shouldn't be smoking like that. It's, I just had a PM done on the reefer. New oil, new filters. Seems to be running fine. Why would it smoke? At this point, still didn't think of anything. Still had no clue it was a reefer. An hour goes by or so. I'm not keeping track of time. And I see this puff of smoke again. Now again, it's windy. Keep in mind, there's a breeze. It's not really windy, but it's breezy. And I keep saying to myself, I'm like, what the hell is going on? So finally I get out of the truck, looking around. I walked past the reefer because I thought it was, it looked like water. It was dripping. I thought, oh, maybe, the unit is defrosting. Actually, that engine sounds like, if you guys can recall, remember when your reefer defrosts, it speeds up the engine. That's what it was like for like hours. So I'm thinking to myself, again, there's water coming out, and okay, it's defrosting. There's a puddle in front of the truck. Still had no clue. I get back in the truck, fly around, watch some videos. This is now 3-4 hours into it. Again, I see the puff of smoke. I'm like, this is ridiculous. So I go back there once again, and the thing is still like dripping. It's like water dripping from inside, underneath, that piece of plastic that's underneath the engine. It was dripping out of there. I'm like, that's friggin' weird. Again, now keep in mind, not smelling diesel. I'm just seeing puffs of smoke because the wind's blowing away the wind's coming in a different direction, so it's taking the smoke and the stink or the smell of diesel away from me. So finally I looked and I said, something is not right, man. I look at my fuel level. My fuel level's about, I don't know, 5/8 of the tank, and I filled it up to the rim before I got there. I was like, there's no way this thing's eating that much fuel. So finally I walk over there, take a little closer look at it, and I touch it. Again, this thing looks like water. I don't smell anything because of the breeze, and keep seeing puffs of smoke. Well, I'm thinking it's the APU. When it turns on, it gives it the smoke. Well, when I go to touch it, I realize it ain't water. That's friggin' fuel. It's slimy. It's all over the back of my truck, on the catwalk, on the frame, on top of the APU, everywhere. Load locks, everything is drenched in fuel oil. So now I panic. And now, keep in mind, this is now about 4.5 hours into being at the dock. And finally, as soon as all this kind of occurred, I was panicking because I didn't know if they were done or not. The green light goes on. So I immediately shut the reefer off. I look inside, and it's coated with fuel oil. The whole unit is shiny, and then you smell it. Then the smell is overwhelming because now, I'm inside the unit, and I got the doors open, so there's no breeze. I'm like, oh my God. So I reach out to Road Assist. I'm like, hey, listen, I don't know what's wrong with the reefer, but I believe a fuel line burst, and it's dumping fuel. So he's like, okay, how much fuel are you unloading? I'm like, yeah, I'm unloading. So the light just turned green. I'm unloading. What's the protocol with this? He's like, okay, you're going to take it to this place. They give me a place. In the meantime, after you get off the phone with me, you got to call safety because now we've got an environmental issue. Like, really? Well, I knew I had an environmental issue because about 10, 15 gallons are laying in a form of a puddle. So I call safety. They're like, okay, are there any drains nearby? I'm like, no, there's no drains. It's kind of collected on the other side of where the truck is. It's kind of in a puddle. I said, however, it did migrate down a few feet where trucks that are coming in and out of that dock are now, tracking that diesel fuel on their tires. Like, okay, we gotta get in touch with somebody. So finally I get a call from this environmental company, Service Pro, something like that. It wasn't Service Pro, it was Environmental Pro. That was the name of the company, Environmental Pro. They're like, listen, what's going on? So I explained the situation. Reefer's off, no more fuel's leaking. Whatever's leaking is what's kind of built up in the engine bay. It's dripping through the bottom plastic piece. Is there any drains nearby? Nope. Okay, good. We're going to send somebody out, but they're not going to be there for 3 hours. This is like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I got unloaded about, I'd say I was done about 11:30, quarter to 12. So what's that? I got there, I backed into the door, 6 o'clock. It took about 5 hours getting unloaded. Well, long story short is, I ended up dropping off the trailer to this carrier, which is pretty close to where my 90 was. And in turn, I had to go to another place and get the trailer, a new trailer. hours early. I mean, literally. I should have caught this thing soon after I heard the engine click up, but I didn't. You know, like we all do. Hey, listen, we sit, we dock our truck. What do we usually do? You either lay down and take a nap, or you sit up front, read a book, read a magazine. Who reads magazines? But anyway, we're on our phones. Let's just be real. I'm on my iPad watching videos, scrolling through some, Bitcoin, and as they're going to announce the ETF any minute now. So I'm enthralled with that. And not smelling, because diesel has got a pretty outstanding smell. I mean, it's pretty powerful. But the reason why I didn't smell it was because of the wind, the breeze. The breeze kept pushing it. And I walked past it, which really pissed me off. I walked past it thinking that it was just water. Again, not smelling anything. But I was saying to myself, boy, that thing sure takes a long time to defrost. But it doesn't say defrost on the screen. I mean, there was just little clues that I'm kind of upset about that I didn't catch it 10 gallons earlier. So I basically emptied the tank. I mean, I finally got a notice or a thing over the Qualcomm sending you down to 2 gallons. So whoever gets that trailer is going to get a trailer with no fuel in it, basically. But I dropped it off, and all is well. You know what? I was also thinking, like, God forbid I was driving down the road when that unit went, or the hose broke, the fuel line broke, spitting it out all over the interstate, possibly getting myself into a jam as far as, because diesel oil is slick. Diesel fuel, is slick. Or, God forbid, causing a major accident, not knowing that it was my unit spewing fuel, because it went everywhere. It was basically dripping out of the bottom of that that plastic piece that covers the bottom of the engine. I'm not going to say it was spewing all over, but how it got back behind my, on my catwalk and everything, I think it was just really, tripping really hard in many different areas. And it was just bouncing off the frame and going everywhere. So I did the best I could. I cleaned it up with, brake clean, a couple of rags on my truck. I had to get it washed, but it's a waste of money because it's going to be, I'm going to be driving through rain in the next couple of days. I'm on my way to Michigan and then down to Georgia. But man, oh man, oh man, what a catastrophe! What a dilemma that caused. I had to let the 90 know what was going on. They basically, as soon as they told me when I entered the docks and the paperwork in, as soon as you get your paperwork, you come up and get it, you got to leave because it's a small little place. So I went up there and I said, listen, I had an accident. Fuel line in the reefer broke. There's diesel fuel everywhere. My company has called someone to come and clean it up. They're on their way, so please don't send anybody from door 24 on down, so this way nobody tracks it. Because, that stuff is, you walk through it not thinking it's water, and you slip and slide, you break your skull. That's a problem. So, again, nobody got hurt. I'm glad it happened where it happened. I wish it didn't happen, but again, mechanical things fail. Nobody got hurt. Again, frustrated that it did happen and I didn't catch it a lot sooner. I don't know what I would have done. Because again, they were taking their time. And I had a -5-degree load. Now, thankfully, it's not summertime. Where, there's a problem of, we have serious problems with overheating. But man, oh man, I wouldn't, that's something that Prime would have to figure out what to do. I mean, it took a long time to unload that truck. And again, thank God it wasn't July when it happened. Otherwise, it would be a possible loss. I don't know. Just neither here nor there, of course. But yeah, that was my day. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2024. The shit still is, great, weird stuff is still happening on my watch. I had a great week last week. I drove through the holidays, and again, Happy New Year, Happy belated New Year. Had a hell of a week, and not a good way to start 24 off. But again, in retrospect, in hindsight, I'm glad it happened where it happened. No harm, no foul. Didn't lose the product. Lost a couple of gallons of diesel fuel, and whatever the cost is to clean it up. I'm sure it's not going to be cheap. So, but it's one of the positives about working for Prime. It's their unit. I was hoping nobody would point fingers like it's a real fault. You should have realized it, done it sooner. Whatever, I did. It is what it is. But again, Prime was all over it. I'm sure I won't get in trouble for it. I'm sure I would have heard by now. Took a deduction of some sort if I had to pay for it. So, it's a good thing about Prime. Prime's got, they got tentacles everywhere. People, things happen. There's a response. And there's someone to reach out to. And that's what I mean by tentacles that Prime has. I mean, could you imagine if I was in older op with my own trailer and my own truck? Well, I have my own truck, but my own trailer, and this happened? That's a lot of money out of your pocket. I'd be down a trailer. I wouldn't be going on my load. I wouldn't be able to go pick up another trailer and continue to the O1. I would have to sit there and wait. And they're backed up for days. They got trailers everywhere where I dropped it off. So, road assist was all over it. Safety was all over it. They called the necessary people and got it done. At the end of the day, I lost some time, but at the end of the day, they got it done. And all I did was make a few phone calls. So, happy about that. A strong positive about working for, Prime. I don't know about any other companies that are big. I don't know if they have, but it is what it is. I have a company that, something happens, whether it's a flat tire or a check engine light, I make a phone call or send a message and you get answers. And then when you go to a place to fix, all you do is hand them a reference number and it's taken care of. It's that simple. Anyway, the video's becoming long-winded. I just wanted to and again, I'm upset that I somehow, some way, deleted that video of the spill. So, that's what happened. BigH trucking today. Fuel spill in aisle 24. All right, folks, stay safe.